Hello, my name is Officer Mario Reed. I'm a police officer with Evansville Police Department. I am also a member of the security staff here at EVPL Central. Today I'm going to read some stories with you that are really close to my heart, and let's start with a song real quick. So this song's going to be kind of like the song, if you've ever heard, The More We Get Together, but it's about reading. So let's begin. The more we read together, the more we read together at the library, where your books are my books and my books are your books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. And sometimes when I work with the fire department. The fire department is actually right across the street, and I believe right now they're probably on their way to go help people right now. Which brings me up to what our books are today. We're going to be reading about the Three Little Pigs, and one of the Three Little Pig books is the Three Little Super Pigs, which is my daughter's favorite book because she loves superheroes. And speaking of superheroes, fire department, police officers, ambulance people, paramedics, medics, nurses, doctors, those are all superheroes in our community. Another superhero that we don't talk about a lot is our librarians. Our librarians here in our community provide us opportunities to learn and teach us about books and all sorts of different things. If there's something you want to learn, you just come to the library, ask a few questions, they can help you find it, whether you're using the internet, books, or anything like that. So let's get started with our first book. My mom and dad read me and my sister stories every night before we went to bed. I also love to listen to books on tape. One of the books on tape was The Three Little Pigs, and that Three Little Pigs was done by Walt Disney, and that Disney book had this song that they sang all through the book and in between each page thing. And the song would go just like this. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf, the big bad wolf, the big bad wolf? Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? La 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 la. So, since we were talking about heroes and things like that, we're also going to talk about the villain of these books, and that is the big bad wolf. So, we're going to start reading The Three Little Pigs, and this version of The Three Little Pigs is by James Marshall. There are a lot of other versions of The Three Little Pigs, like the one that I read growing up by Disney. Stephen Kellogg has a great Three Little Pigs adaptation, which is very funny. And there's also a Three Little Pigs version. This is more of a classical version, and this one is by Paul Galdone. And if you like music like I do, they've got the Three Little Swinging Pigs, which is by Vicki Rubin and illustrated by Rob Mojito. So today I'm going to read this one by James Marshall. The Three Little Pigs by James Marshall. For Adrian Scott. Once upon a time, an old sow sent her 3 little pigs out in the world to seek their fortune. Now be sure to write, she said, and remember that I love you. The first little pig met a man with a load of straw. I know, said the little pig. I'll buy your straw and build a house. That's not a good idea, said the man. Mind your own business, thank you, said the little pig. And he brought the straw and set about building a house. It took him no time at all. Very soon, a lean and hungry wolf happened by. Pig was just about his favorite food in the world. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, not by the hair, my chinny chin chin. This annoyed the wolf, and he said, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Go right ahead, said the little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew his house in. And he gobbled up the little pig. The second little pig met a man with a load of sticks. I've got it, said the little pig. I'll buy these sticks and build a house. I'd think twice about that, said the man. Oh, pooh, said the little pig. What do you know? And he bought the sticks and went to work building a house. Very pretty, he said. No sooner had the little pig settled into his pretty house that the wolf happened by. He was still hungry, and he said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. The wolf didn't care for that at all, and he said, I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Ha ha ha, said the little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in, and he gobbled up the little pig. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks. These bricks will make a fine, sturdy house, said the man. Capital idea, my good fellow, said the little pig. So he brought the bricks and set about building a house. It took him quite a bit of time, but it was well worth it. Nice and solid, said the little pig. Nice and solid. But no sooner had the little pig moved in than he noticed the wolf loitering about, and the wolf, who was still hungry, said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, the wolf had heard that before, and he said, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Oh, no, don't do that, said the little pig. But the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, until he was quite blue in the face. The house stood firm. I'll try another approach, muttered the wolf. And he put on his most dazzling smile. Little pig, I was only teasing, he said. By the way, I hear, tell that farmer Joe he is the most scrumptious turnips. Shall we go pick a few? Oh, I'm much too busy now, said the little pig. What about tomorrow morning? Excellent, said the wolf. I'll come for you at 6. The next morning, the little pig got up at 5, hurried to Farmer Jones' turnip field, picked a basket full of scrumptious turnips, and dashed back home. When the wolf arrived at 6, the turnips were already boiling in the pot. Sorry, I couldn't wait, said the little pig. The wolf tried not to show his displeasure. No harm done, he said. By the way, there's a lovely apple tree down in Merry Meadow. Shall we go help ourselves to a few apples? I must cook my turnips, said the little pigs. Let me meet you here tomorrow morning. Splendid, said the wolf. Shall we say 5? The next morning, the little pig was up at 4 and went off for the apples. It took longer than he expected to reach Merry Meadow, and while busy gathering apples in the highest tree, he saw the wolf approaching. Do try one of these, he called down, throwing an apple as far as he could. When the wolf chased after the apple, the little pig shimmied down the tree and made it safely home. The next day, the wolf came again. Really, he was quite put out. There's a fair today on Hog Hill, he said. Would you care to go? Why don't we meet there, said the little pig. Would 3 o'clock suit you? Colossal, said the wolf. 3 it is. Just make sure he would be there at 2. At 1 in the afternoon, the little pig went to the fair and had a fine time, so that he lost track of the hour. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the wolf coming up the hill. Without a minute to spare, the little pig jumped inside an empty butter churn and rolled down the hill towards the wolf. Well, the wolf was so scared he ran all the way home. That evening, the wolf went to the little pig's house and told him how frightened he had been by the great round thing that came down the hill. Frightened you, did I? Said the little pig. That great round thing was a butter churn, and I was inside. This was simply too much for the wolf to stand. I've been nice long enough, he cried. I'm going to eat you up right now. And he climbed onto the roof. When the little pig saw this, he put a big iron pot in the fireplace and quickly stoked the fire. Here I come, cried the wolf. Dinner time! You can say that again, said the little pig, and he cooked the mean wolf and gobbled him up. The end. Do you ever wonder what happens next when you finish a book? I do. And one of my daughter's favorite books tells a story of what happens to the big bad wolf and the three little pigs after their first meeting in the Three Little Pigs in the versions where they don't get eaten up. So, we're going to be reading one of my daughter's favorite books, The Three Little Super Pigs, written and illustrated by Claire Evans. The Three Little Super Pigs, written and illustrated by Claire Evans. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who captured the big bad wolf in a house made of bricks. The hungry wolf fell down the little pig's chimney into a pan of boiling water. He huffed and he puffed, but it was no use. He had fallen right into the pig's trap. "I'll get you next time, little pigs," the angry wolf shouted as he was carted off to prison. With smiles on their snouts, the three little super pigs waved goodbye to the big bad villain. The citizens of Fairyland were very happy that the big bad wolf had been defeated. The pigs were awarded special superhero status and became known as the Three Little Super Pigs. Working together, they all rebuilt the whole town made of bricks and kept everyone safe. "We love you, Super Pigs!" From that moment on, the Super Pigs spent all their days being heroes and enjoying their newfound fame. When they weren't greeting their fans, they were fighting crime and stopping nursery rhyme bad guys. Meanwhile, deep inside Happily Never After prison, the very angry big bad wolf was hungrily plotting his revenge in his cold and dreary cell. A few weeks later, the Super Pigs were called to investigate a new crime. Mysteriously, one by one, bricks were starting to disappear all around Fairyland. This was very strange. The Super Pigs were on the case. Later that day, they received some shocking news. "The big bad wolf has escaped!" The residents of Fairyland were scared, and once again turned to the three Super Pigs for help. "Don't worry," the three Super Kids boasted. "We'll find that wolf and make him pay." The three little Super Pigs hunted high and low, far and wide, long and hard, but the big bad wolf was nowhere to be seen. The pigs searched everywhere for clues. Some people claimed they'd seen the wolf dressed up as an old lady. So the pigs rounded up all the grandmas in Fairyland. But the wolf was a master of disguise, and they just couldn't spot him. I can't find him. Can you guys find him? Every day, more and more bricks disappeared from Fairyland. As night fell, the whole town locked themselves indoors, too frightened to go out. They hoped the Super Pigs would find the wolf soon. He was up to something big and bad. Back at home, the first Super Pig was relaxing when he sensed something strange. Suddenly, a dark shadow fell upon him. "The big bad wolf!" cried the Super Pig. "I don't need to huff, I don't need to puff, and I don't need to blow your house in, because I'm already inside," replied the pointy-eared wolf. The pig ran out through the front door, but he was met with a terrible surprise. The cunning wolf had built a gigantic wall around the Super Pig's houses, using the stolen bricks from Fairyland. The Super Pig was trapped. Attempting to flee, the Super Pig tried to climb the brick wall using a ladder from inside of the house, but it was too short. "Gotcha!" sneered the wolf as he captured the helpless pig. Unaware of the danger, the second pig was home polishing his metal. Suddenly, spotted something out of the corner of his eye. "The big bad wolf!" shrieked the Super Pig. "I don't need to huff, I don't need to puff, I don't need to blow your house down, because I'm already inside," growled the wolf. With a huge scream, the terrified Super Pig quickly ran outside into the enormous brick wall. Desperate to escape, the little pig jumped on a nearby trampoline, bouncing as high as he could, but it was no use. "Gotcha," boasted the wolf as he caught the pig in his trusty net. "2 down, 1 to go," laughed the wolf as he prepared his delicious meal. The third Super Pig had heard all the commotion and was busy hatching a plan when the big bad wolf suddenly appeared in his window. The Super Pig grabbed his gear, raced straight out the front door and down the path as quickly as his little legs could carry him. Working quickly, he freed his captured brothers from their tight pastry blankets, but it wasn't quick enough. "Ha ha ha! There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. I've built a wall all around your houses, and now you're trapped inside," laughed the hungry wolf. "You're no Super Pigs. You're my dinner." "I don't think so," shouted the third Super Pig. He whispered to his brothers, "Ready, set, let's go!" And in a flash, they blasted off high into the night sky. The clever brother had outsmarted the wolf again, using his jetpack invention to save the day. The Super Pigs had left the big bad wolf trapped in his own self-built brick prison. The angry wolf raised his fist and said, "I'll get you yet, little pigs!" Up in the sky, the Super Pigs laughed out loud. "You'll never catch us, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chins!" And down below, the citizens of Fairyland cheered, "Wow, pigs really can fly!" The 3 little pigs had saved Fairyland from the big bad wolf once again. They were truly superheroes. Hooray for the 3 Super Pigs! Hooray for the 3 little Super Pigs! Hooray for the 3 little Super Pigs! The end? One of my kids' favorite things to do is go outside, and then another favorite thing they like to do is do crafts. And so one way that we can do crafts and be outside is do something that's also earth-friendly, and that's do recycled crafts. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to build houses on paper. We're going to draw little houses, and we're going to decorate them to be like the 3 little pigs' houses. And we're going to use things that we find outside and some recycled paper from things that have already been printed off inside of the library. And so before we do that, since we're outside, we're going to look for some things that we might be able to use just out here in the garden. So one of the things I see already that we'll use is I found some sticks, and you don't even need to pull things off trees or anything like that. You can find sticks that are on the ground just like I did. And what we're going to do is when we get ready, we're going to break them up just so you have little pieces, and we're going to attach these to our houses that we're going to build in just a little bit inside. Also, the other thing that we need is something to make our house of straw. So we got our house of sticks. Let's go over here. We see some grass that's from like a compost pile. So we're just going to grab a little bit of this dead grass. Once again, we don't want to take anything that's on a tree or anything. We want to recycle things and take things that are already on the ground. So now we've got our house of straw and our house of sticks. And another thing that we'll use for our bricks, since we can't really find bricks like that, we're just going to find maybe a rock or two that we can find on the ground that we can also attach to our thing. Or another way that we can do that is we can cut little pieces of paper that are already recycled. That's something, maybe paper that your parents have already used or paper that you've already used. And we'll color those red. But we can also look for rocks. And so what we're going to do, just like we're outside, I just found a bunch of them right here. So we're going to just pick up a few rocks, and we'll use those rocks, and we'll attach them to our paper when it's time. So now we've got our rocks that we can use for our bricks. We've got our sticks for our house of sticks, and we also have our straw. And then we're going to go inside, and we're going to go do that craft right now. All right, guys. So I know we talked about doing some crafts, so we're going to do our recycled crafts. Like earlier, we had already collected our straw and our sticks and some of our rocks. And what we're going to do is now we're going to actually make our 3 little pig recycled craft Three Little Pigs house scene. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some papers that have already been written on and make sure you find things that maybe your parents have already written on or something like that, or things that maybe you've done art on in the past, like right here. I'd already done some art here, and I decided I want to use this for some things, and so we're going to recycle those items. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a background, and I've got another piece of paper that we've kind of already have used for something else, and we're going to use this as our background, and we're going to make three little houses, and then once we make those three little houses, we're going to decorate them and glue them together and make our craft. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our house. And making a house is really simple. All you use is two different types of shapes, and that's going to be a triangle and a square. Doesn't have to be super fancy, and you have a house just like that. And so our first pig made his house out of straw. So what I'm going to do is take some of our grass that we got from outside, and remember, when we're getting grass and things like that, don't pick anything from the ground that's in the ground. You just pick things that are on the ground that have already kind of that have already fallen off, or already been cut off, just so that we make sure we're recycling, we're not taking anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first house, I'm going to put a little glue on the back, just like that. You don't have to use too much. And you put it right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here, and I'm going to make my house of straw. And so just put enough glue here, and then you're going to stick that on, and we're going to keep sticking it on until we get our house of straw made. We're going to use a little bit there, and I like to do a little bit of a roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we get a little bit more. Making a mess all over the desk too. It's fun. And we got our house of straw, and you put enough glue on there for it to all stick together, and then we'll just let that dry, okay? And so that's our first one. Now the other two that we're going to make, we're going to put that over there for later. The other two that we're going to make is we're going to make our house of sticks, and what you're going to do, just like we started with the last one, we're going to make our triangle, and then our square. And you can do it however you want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our stick, and you can just break it up into little pieces. And you don't have to cover the whole house or anything like that. You can just make it just so that we know it's a house of sticks, because we're just making a little place for the pigs to live. And what we're going to do is just break them up, and then all you got to do is just do little lines of glue on your paper, just like this, and stick your wood to your house to make your house of sticks. So you just do that. You don't have to use a bunch. You just do it just to decorate your little house. And I always like to make sure make sure we got something for the roof. Just like that. Just make sure you get the glue with that. And there's my house of sticks. And I'm going to put that over there and let that dry. And then eventually I'm going to put that on my paper. And then so the last one, just like we did the last one, we start with our triangle. And I want to make mine just a little bit different. And I'm going to use a circle instead of a square, just to make our house just a little bit different. Also looks like a little guy with a hat on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of construction paper that we've already used before, and we're going to draw little rectangles, and I'm going to use a marker for this. You can use a crayon or a pencil or anything you got, and we're going to make little bricks that we are going to make our bricks. And just like the house of bricks that took a little bit longer than the other houses, this one's going to take a little bit longer, just so we can be like the little pig that took the extra time to make the little bit better house so that he made sure he was safe. And we're going to cut out our bricks. And if you, in this part, make sure you have your mom and dad with you when you're using scissors. and make sure you're being safe while using the scissors, and make sure that you talk to your parents about this craft, and this is something that'd be fun for you and your family to do together. And so I cut my little bricks out. Try to get them as close as you can. And then what you can do is you can take your bricks and you can start just brick by brick, make your house just like this. And then if you want to do something a little different, and another bricks are just like rocks, if you want, you can also use a little rock. And I like to use a little rock for my door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue here. And if you have trouble getting the rock to stay on because it may be too heavy or something, you can also just put a little bit of tape over it. But as you can see, I can glue that right on. And we're going to put that over there. And we're going to make one last thing to go with our house of bricks. We're going to make a little pig. And the little pig is really easy to do because all you're going to do is just make some simple shapes. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a circle for his head, a circle for his body, and make little ovals for his legs, little ovals for his arms, and little triangles for his ears. And I like to give him a little snout. And you can give him some eyes and a smile. And then what we're going to do is we're going to color it. And since pigs are usually pink, as long as they're not in the mud, I'm going to go ahead and color this pink real quick. And since I normally wear glasses, I'm going to give my little pig glasses just like I do. And I'm going to color my pig in just like that. And since we are doing story time, I'm going to give this little pig a book that he's going to have, that it's going to be out, that he's reading while he sits there. And then what we're going to do, just like we did with the other one, we're going to cut our pig out just like this. Like I said, make sure when you're cutting, you have your parents with you. And so you cut out your pig. And we got to get this done before the library closes. And we're almost done with our pig. And then we'll bring back our house. And you can add more to it as you go on, but I'm going to have them just like this because and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that one to here and then glue this house up here so you can have the houses and they can be next to each other. And I'm going to put a little bit more glue on that one just to hold that one in place. And then finally, put our pig right here in the center. And we have done our recycled 3 little pigs art. Thanks, guys. I had so much fun reading and doing crafts and singing with you guys today. I'm glad I was able to share one of my family's favorite stories with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on social media at EVPL Library or visit evpl.org to explore more of our 24/7 digital resources and services. We hope you stay safe and well. Hey guys, I'm so sorry, but it's time to say goodbye. And since we sang on our way in, let's sing on our way out. Now I'm going to sing a very fun Thanks for Coming song to the tune of Oh My Darling Clementine. Thanks for sitting, thanks for listening, thanks for coming here today. Now that story time is over, hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.